It is a beautiful day, Shane. I'll take the sunshine. Aloha, everyone. Aloha. Love it. Thank you so much for being here. I just got off the plane and came straight here. And I'll tell you something a lot of you might not know. My family's roots are here in Michigan. My mom grew up in Grand Rapids, graduated from East Grand Rapids High, and I know you got a big game tonight, but she went to the University of Michigan. But the values that my mom grew up with, I was listening to Shane talk here, the values that my mom grew up with, my grandfather served in World War II, were very much rooted in faith and family. We're very much rooted in service. And that was something that my mom and dad taught all of us 5 kids in our family from a young age. You dedicate your life in service to God and others, you will be successful, no matter what you choose to do. Now, my dad is originally from Samoa. He met my mom in a summer job at Yosemite, had a long-distance relationship, swept her up. They got married in Grand Rapids, and he took her out to the islands. But what Shane talked about, those roots that I learned of growing up in Hawaii, why I chose to be a Democrat when I ran for state house when I was 21 in 2002, I was inspired by those leaders who fought for those immigrants working the pineapple fields and the sugarcane fields, because they fought for people. They were looking out for their kids. They were looking out for their families. It was those values of the JFK Democrats, of the Dr. Martin Luther King Democrats, that made me, as a 21-year-old, my parents were not really affiliated with one party or another. They said, make your own decision. That was the party that inspired me to join and to continue to try to do my part. Today's Democrat Party could not be more different than that party 20 years ago that I joined. It has become the party of, by, and for the elite, rather than bringing to fruition the party of, by, and for the people. And to me, that's why I'm here. That's what's at stake in this election. This cannot be treated as the usual battle between Democrats and Republicans. There is so much more that's at stake than to reduce this to yet another team sport, with this being the Super Bowl event. This is about every one of us as Americans. This is about our kids. This is about what kind of future every one of us wants to leave behind for them. I've talked a lot about what's wrong with the Democrat Party of today. The reason why this race matters in particular is we have people in power in Washington, in the Biden administration, and in Congress who are abusing their power and privilege, and our kids and our families and our communities are being harmed in the process. I've been campaigning for and supporting great Americans like Tudor and like Shane, who are running for the House, running for the Senate, so that they can push the brakes and actually hold these people accountable. Have that co-equal branch of government actually do their job, rather than rubber stamping anything and everything that this administration pushes out. But what we're seeing with how the Department of Justice is being politicized, the FBI, the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Education, you go down the laundry list of these institutions that exist to serve us, that exist to serve the interests of the American people. That power needs to be taken away from the federal government and put into the hands of the people. This is why who you choose as governor matters so much. Because when you see these mandates come out from the federal government, it's the governors who have the responsibility and the power to say no. This is not what we're doing. The federal government tries to leverage our taxpayer dollars, saying, well, hey, if you don't push this transgender ideology in our kids, we're going to take money away from hungry, poor kids who qualify for free and reduced lunch. This is coming from the people who claim to be the party that is compassionate and caring and fighting for poor people, using poor, hungry children to leverage pushing their radical agenda on our families and on our kids. The strength and leadership that I've seen in Tudor, we had a long talk on the phone before I came out here, is something that's rare and it's special. And she is built for this moment. She has shown it through her track record of leadership and through her courage in speaking up, even knowing that speaking up comes at a cost. Shane was very eloquent in his call to action to you. We can't limit ourselves to only having conversations who we agree with on everything, who have the same letter next to their name. The things that are at risk right now, our fundamental freedoms, our families, our safety, the security of this country, our economy, our livelihoods, these are things that are affecting every one of us in this country, not just those of one party or another. And that really is where the opportunity lies. Where if we're sick and tired of the direction we're headed, we are the only ones who can change it. We the people, that's it. The beauty of the vision our founders had for us is reminding us every single day the power lies in our hands. As big and powerful as the powers that be, the mainstream media, the powerful elite in Washington, the party bosses, as powerful as they seem, they are only as powerful as we allow them to be. So with the next 10 days, it's up to every one of us here in the state of Michigan and across the country to let our voices be heard, to not rest until we know that every person in our lives that we know we're connected with, who trusts us, who you can help influence and impact. We cannot rest until we've reached everyone to share what's in your heart, about who you care about, who you're fighting for. I am afraid of where we end up in this country if we do not make serious change in this election. We've seen how far and fast we have fallen in the last 2 years because of leaders like Gretchen Whitmer, because of leaders like Joe Biden and his cohorts. Failure is not an option. If we love this country, and I know we do, our future is in our hands. So join me in giving the warmest welcome to your next governor, Tudor Dixon, the leader that Michigan needs and deserves.